to Conversations with Chlo, episode 2. I'm so happy to have you. I am your host, Chloe Rihanna. This is season 2, episode 2. If you haven't checked out season 1, episode 1, that's it. She didn't make any more. Just one episode and one season, one episode. But I just feel like I'm in a brand new season, so I'm like, gotta fit with the times, and so I made another season. I hope you don't mind too much. So if you haven't checked out season 1, episode 1, feel free to check that out. If you also haven't checked out season 2, episode 1, the one before this, feel free to check it out. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for starting this conversation and continuing this conversation. Like I said, I don't claim to know everything. I'm just here just spewing out my thoughts and hoping that you enjoy it, because I talk to myself anyway, so I might as well sit in front of a camera and do it to an audience. Or the 2 or 3 people that watch. So yeah, thank you so much for being here. What are we talking about today? 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 Today we are talking about the importance of rest, why we rest, and why it should be something that we should prioritize. Now, I am definitely talking to myself because I'm not the best at this. No, actually, I'm good at procrastinating. I can procrastinate for days. But in terms of prioritizing rest and why it's important in my life, it's something that I've been thinking about, and I thought let's have a conversation about it. So, I like a definition, so let's do a definition. This one's from Oxford Dictionary. So, the definition of rest. It says to cause someone or something to stop doing a particular activity or stop being active for a period of time, to relax and get back your strength. So basically, it's being active, and then stopping and relaxing. Basically, stopping an activity is what I'm getting, is what it's giving. Stopping an activity and relaxing and doing it for a certain period of time. So that's our definition of rest. Okay, why is it important, Chlo? Why is it important? Well, I think we all know that rest is important. Come on, we all know that rest is important. Do we do it? There's another question. Do we have time to do it? Are we in a space in our life where we can prioritize it? I think it kind of is a privilege to rest. But is it a privilege to rest? I feel like even God rested, on the 7th day, he rested. Do you know what I mean? So if we're made in his image and we are taught to be like him, I feel like rest should be something that we should prioritize too, I mean, I don't claim to be God, because I didn't make this earth. But just that whole example of rest, I think it's set by God. So why not follow it? Anyway, okay, so why is it important to rest? Here's a few reasons that I found on the Googles. So rest helps us reduce stress and anxiety. It improves our mood. And if you're like me, you're a cranky Karen. You are a cranky Karen when you are tired. Rest. Child, rest. It decreases blood pressure. It helps chronic pain relief. It is pain relief. It improves our immune health. It gives us a stronger cardiovascular system. It gives us just an all-around better mental health and all-round health, It increases concentration, and it also improves our memory. It gives us just a better way of living, and it gives us a better metabolism as well. So pretty much rest is important. It gives us our body the chance to actually recover from life, because life really does life, you know? And so even our head, our mind, everything just needs to rest, you know? So I think that's why it's important. So there's several forms of rest. I think you can think of plenty forms of rest. I think for different people it looks different, but you know, here are some forms of rest. Breathing exercises, you know, taking slow breaths, taking deep breaths, you know, practicing how to circulate the air around your body. Is that what you do? Is that around your lungs? That's a form of rest. Because it's very hard to stress when you're doing breathing exercises. I mean, you must be a very good multitasker if that's your thing. It must be your thing, because I don't know how you stress whilst breathing. You can soak in a warm bath, you can listen to soothing music, you can watch Netflix and watch a movie, girl. You can practice forms of meditation, you can journal, and just whatever you see as forms of rest you can do. I want to talk about one of the main forms of rest, which I believe is sleep. Sleep is a very good form of rest. In fact, it's probably the best form of rest. Here's why. Here's what I prepared earlier on. I just found this from the Googles. So the first reason why rest is important is because it basically helps our brain to function well. You know, like I know it's something that we don't, not even just rest, sorry, I'm talking about sleep. Why sleep is important is because it helps our brain to function. Our brain doesn't really do well with like little rest. It also gives, you know, a good night's sleep helps us to be more alert and clear-headed. Like for some reason, God just decided that rest is important and sleep is part of rest, so that's important. Another reason is that it keeps our emotions in check. I think sometimes when we be cranky Karen, might be because we haven't slept well. I know for that. Just on a side note, if you guys are looking for a good something or a good app to track your sleep, this is definitely not an ad because we're really not there yet. Please relax. But I use an app called Sleep Cycle. It's really good. It basically records your sleep and it tells you how many hours you were in deep sleep and how many hours you were like not sleeping. It also records your talking, like it also records you, like so it records your snoring. And it also records like if you sleep talk or stuff like that, or if there's like things going on in the background. And also I think one of the best things about this app is the way it wakes you up, and you can decide how you want it to, but it gives you like it will wake you up 30 minutes before, but not like the annoying brutal iPhone waking ups where it's just like no, it doesn't do that. It like plays like one nice song and then, you know, it starts quite quiet, so you think, oh, this is part of my dream, and then, you know, it builds and then it builds and then it builds, but it's still like a really nice thing to wake up to. You wake up gracefully, and so I really like that about the app. It's a really good app. Again, Sleep Cycle, check it out. I think you now have to pay for it. When I got it, you didn't have to, but I think you do now. But it's super good at tracking your sleep. I digress. I really do digress. But yeah, so it helps to keep our emotions in check. It reduces disease, or it reduces the risk of disease. I don't know how this works, but I'm pretty sure in the hours that we're sleeping, it's like repairing our stuffs and really helping us to be better humans by healing. Like I said, the body needs to rest, the mind needs to rest, everybody needs to rest because life be lifing. So yeah. Another reason is that it keeps weight under control. Now, I don't know the science behind this. This might be quite an interesting thing to look into, which I might do in my own time. But like, sleep can actually help. Or what did it say? Keeps weight under control. I don't know what that means. But if you want to keep your weight under control, then maybe have a look at sleep and what your sleeping patterns are like and stuff like that. I think we all know sleep is important, but I don't think we ever really think about it that much. So I wanted to share some facts, some fun facts that might not be that fun. So I'm going to share 4 because like we can't be here all day talking about sleep. So humans, did you know that humans spend a third of their life sleeping? It says this English. Why is that word so hard to say? This obviously, it's because of the B. It's because of the B, I think. This obviously differs depending on the age of the human, but on average, it's around a third, which is quite a lot when you think about it. It is. That's like less than half year. That's a lot of time. That's a lot of time. I can't really do the math, but it's a lot. Another fact is the record for the longest period without sleep is 11 days. This was set by a Californian student named Randy Gardner in 1964. This is definitely not recommended. However, as Randy experienced extreme sleep deprivation. Why does that sound weird now? Deprivation. That sounds really weird, but you know what I'm trying to say. And others have died staying awake for too long. So you can die from staying awake too long? That is crazy. I didn't know that. Well, you learn something every day. So we actually need sleep to survive, to stay alive. I'm going to share... How many have I shared? 2? Let's share another 2. Oh my gosh, this one's interesting. Within 5 minutes of waking up, 50% of your dream is forgotten. That is mad. That is half. After an additional 5 minutes, 90% of recollection is gone. Bruh. Sigmund Freud, if you studied psychology, you know, believed this was because dreams represent our repressed thoughts, and so our brain wants to get rid of them quickly. However, it's much likely due to our brain simply being used much more as soon as we're awake, and so we forget much about what we dreamed about. You know, that could be something. I don't know. Sigmund Freud is quite debatable. He's the things he used to test things, debatable. But yeah. Okay, last one. Where is it gone? I can't find it. Okay, did you know that sleep deprivation will kill you more quickly than food deprivation? It says neither are good for you, obviously, but this article claims that sleep is actually more important than food in the short term. Mad. I did not know that sleep plays such a big role in life. So I think it's a lot more important than we think. I think there's a book I really want to read about sleep, but I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, basically and it claims that, you know, sleep is like this thing, like if people realize how great it is, it can improve your life, and it can also add days to your life. I mean, if you're trying to stay awake then and not sleep, then it probably might kill you, which is interesting. I didn't know that. Did you know that? Interesting. Anyway, so we've discovered what rest is, the definition of rest. We've spoken about forms of rest. We've spoken about why it's important, and we've also spoken about a particular form of rest, which is sleep. So I'm gonna whittle it down into a certain particular audience, and I'm going to be talking about the importance of rest as an entrepreneur and a self-employed person, because I think if you are in this category, you probably find rest pretty hard. Taking, a break, taking a holiday, do not disturb and all of that. Especially if it's something that you really do love doing. Rest is a hard thing to kind of break down, and I don't really have the answers, but I guess it could open a discussion on, like, if you are in that group of people. Like myself, I'm a self-employed musician, I'm my own boss, so I can pretty much say when we're going on holiday, when we're not, when we're working, when we're not working, which is good and bad. But rest, I've always struggled with knowing how long I rest. Do I take weekends? Do I not? What time do I start work? What time do I stop work? When should I say no to things? And how much rest should I give myself a year? Is something that I'm consistently trying to figure out. And I don't think you ever really do. I think you just go with whatever the season is. So I think all the things I mentioned are important for all the things I mentioned about rest and sleep and stuff like that are important for the creative. I'm going to call us creatives just because it's easier. So if you're self-employed or you're an entrepreneur and your thing's not that creative, then just you're creative today, okay? But I think in order to be an entrepreneur and self-employed, you have to be quite creative. I think you have to be creative with your finances, you have to be creative with your life, you have to be creative with what you do and what you don't do. Like, I think it's quite a creative thing because you are pretty much creating your own job. And so you're a creative, okay? Take it. Take it from me. Take it from me. You're a creative. So I think rest should be more important to us as creatives, because I honestly think if we master it well, it can make us twice more productive. Is that a good sentence? Probably not. But it can actually improve our work so much more because we are valuing the fact that we actually need time to recover. And just because we enjoy what we do doesn't mean that we don't deserve rest. And also, if you're in the early kind of stages of your career, you may feel like, no, I just need to grind. And like, grinding is important, hear me, but not grinding yourself to the grave, because what can you do there? You cannot do anything there when you're dead. So I think even from somebody who is just starting out in their career, I think you should still, I think it's the best time to implement that discipline of rest and valuing it and setting that boundary for yourself, because it only gets worse. It only gets worse as you become more successful in your career and as you build networks and connects and you start becoming much more established. Then rest, what is rest? And then you might build your own family with Lego. I don't know why I said that, but then you might meet someone and then settle down and then start a family and then rest. What is it? It's gone. So I think from a young age it should be built into your life as a discipline. So I'm gonna move into a section which I'm gonna call scheduled rest, because this is what's been helping me of recent, scheduled rest. And I was talking to someone about this the other day as well, a few people actually, about the fact that this is such a rat race culture that doesn't really encourage rest as much as it should. And especially if you're a kind of have a motivated go-getter personality that honestly could go until you die, I think this is for you. I'm not really that sort of person. I like to rest. You just have to say, I'm like, you want me to rest? Okay, cool. Do you know what I mean? Like, you just have to say, relax. Okay, cool. I was going to say that, we've been doing a lot. We need to relax. So, you don't need to tell me to rest. But I think for those people who struggle with it and stuff like that, and struggle with setting that boundaries. And I kind of want to challenge you too, because like, I honestly do believe like you're going to be twice as productive if you actually schedule in rest. And it also just gives you a healthier outlook on your life. You're allowing yourself to actually recover. And I think that's how we should see rest. Like, not just like, oh, I'm wasting time, but like, I am recovering. I'm recovering. If I was an athlete, right, and I just ran a race, after the race, the automatic thing that you should do is rest, right? Is like actually like recover. If you're training for anything, if you even hurt yourself, like, you can't just get back up and start again. You actually have to recover. And I think it's like, we need to do it, and we need to make it an important part of our life. I don't really know if I'm going anywhere with this, but yeah. So scheduled rest, what does that look like? For me personally, I schedule in rest. So what does that look like? Some days, like, it depends on what I need. Which is why I think you need to probably, if you don't know how to rest, maybe you need to figure out what you like to do when you rest, and try loads of different things, to rest. But I'm pretty sure you'll know when you're resting and when you're not resting. And if you don't, then probably get an accountability partner. I don't know. But yeah, so some of the things I do as part of my scheduled rest is I try and take at least one day off. And that's like the whole day. I'm not replying to any emails. I'm not answering any messages. Do not disturb me, okay? Because I know, like, you don't have to tell me twice, like, our weeks, especially if we're touring and there's a big project happening, our weeks can sometimes morph into like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month we haven't rested. And so if I can do it, I will try. But if I can't, then I'll make sure that I have more relaxed evenings. I'll light a candle or take a bath, or actually try when I come home not to just be working, but to actually chill. And if I can't do it every day, I'll try and do at least one day a week. One day in that week. I know it's going to be busy, but at least give myself a day. And if it goes on to 2 weeks, you just have to be very, very aware of how you're doing. And if you're on E, and if you are on E, then maybe you should rest. You should stop the activity and relax for a little while. I honestly don't think it will kill you, unless you like rest in the middle of a train track. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I think you would be okay. Like, obviously everything within reason, but like resting, I don't think it will kill you. So yeah, scheduled rest. What does that look like? So you can schedule in naps during your day. If you have loads of meetings or you're working from home, schedule some naps. What else? Putting your phone on do not disturb. Just because you have a mobile does not mean that everyone should have accessibility to you 24 hours a day. So probably at like 7 o'clock, my phone goes on do not disturb. It turns off all my apps, really, even my social media apps, which I probably should adhere to and go to bed, but not at 7. But like start relaxing or read a book or something, do my devotionals. So yeah, out of offices, if you're someone who like legit is always getting emails at any time of the day, just use it as your friend. The out of office thing, use it as your friend. Or like maybe it's time to get an agent, or maybe it's time to get an assistant or someone who can manage those things. If you feel like, honestly, like, I just can't cope, assess it. If you have the finances, go for it. Holidays, schedule holidays. Creatives, schedule holidays. If you can, obviously, finances and stuff like that, but that you don't need to spend money. You could literally say, I'm taking this week off, and take the week off. Take it off. Don't work. Take it off. Take the week off. Honor your words to yourself, which is what I'm trying to learn. Like, if I say I'm going to do something, I'm trying to actually do it. So honor, if you say, I'm taking this week off, then you have to actually take it off for yourself, and, if you're struggling to balance work and family life, I suggest people days, like, mum days, dad days, brother days. I started it with my brother, which I actually need to pick back up again because it's actually kind of falling slowly. But we do an activity. What do you want to do? And so I book it and we do it. And that helps us bond, and also it helps me to spend time with him. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you know that you will get booked, then book yourself in doing something that is quite valuable. I think sometimes as a creative, our relationships sometimes become quite shaky because it's like our job is just so demanding. So try and prioritize that if that's something that needs work. Do you know what I mean? And those are just a few things that, that have helped me to rest. I'm still figuring out how to actually sleep at a normal time, but do you guys have any suggestions? How do I get myself to go to bed at a decent time? I've tried literally everything. And I just come to the conclusion that I just don't want to do it. So I need to find a reason why I want to do it, because I don't have a good enough reason right now. I think this is the most important one though. In order to have scheduled rest and stuff like that, you have to want it, you could have listened to this whole thing and been like, yeah, that's really nice. But if you don't schedule it in, it's not going to happen, especially if you are in quite a busy season of your life, or if you step into one. You ain't gonna rest, baby. If you don't plan it, you ain't gonna rest. So set that boundary. And I was gonna talk like self-respect and clear boundaries is what's gonna help you the most. Self-respect, what do I mean by that in terms of rest as a creative or entrepreneur? Self-respect, I think, means honoring your word to yourself. And maybe I can speak about this in another podcast, like honoring what you say you're gonna do for yourself, not even for anyone else, but like, I know we're all hypocrites and we're all gonna just say we're gonna do stuff that we'll never do, and then we do that same exact thing. But trying to honor the word, like if you say I'm gonna go to the gym 3 times a week, honor your word and put everything you can in space to do that. So self-respect, I think, is a big thing in order to schedule rest, and you have to really want it. I think also clear boundaries. Okay, cool. It might take a little bit more planning, but think about the greater good. Like, will I be a much better human? Function a lot better if I actually schedule in time to rest. And you can do it. I promise you. Promise you. It is just as important as taking that job, the rest that you should schedule. And like, I don't know, like, I just think it's very important, and I think we should really value it. I could be wrong. Maybe we should just be working ourselves to the grave, but I just don't see where the wisdom is in that. I don't see why. I think there is a time for everything, the Bible says. And so there is a time to work and a time to rest in this all this 24 hours or however long you have on this earth. So if you need help, pray for wisdom. And if you need help with rest, pray for that too, because it's just as important as work, I think, personally. So set clear boundaries. Say, like this week I really want to make sure that like I can just chill or watch a Netflix series. Or it may seem really silly because it may seem like you're wasting time, but I promise you you're not, if you're doing it within reason and if you're doing it balanced and you're not obsessing over it or overindulging. So I think those are my 2 cents for today. That's really all I got. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. I hope that you can find things to take away from it. Maybe some questions are, do you rest enough? What does your sleep pattern look like? And how can you schedule rest into your life today? And I'm asking them to myself, to be honest, like, because my sleep pattern is trash. Trash. And even though I've been practicing scheduling rest, I still think I can put in a little bit more rest in my schedule. But that is all for today, folks. Thank you so much for joining with me. No, that's not English. Thank you so much for joining me here on Conversation with Chlo, Season 2, Episode 2, The Importance of Rest. I hope you have a lovely restful whatever time it is that you're watching this. And let's all try and prioritize rest this week or today, whenever you see or hear this. Thank you so much for joining me. I've been Chlo. Feel free to check me out on all my social medias. And I'll see you next time.